Hi, this is Patrick Riem from Emerald City Traders. I'm going to be doing technical analysis on the S&P 500 and also the ES futures chart. So today what we're looking at is we had a gap up in the morning through the futures last night. We had a gap up, as you can see on the screen. And today was kind of an indecision day, although I would definitely mark this in the category of a more bullish day based on the close, the open, and price action throughout the day. And so just looking at the chart, and I've said this before, I'm gonna just kind of recap on this. Um, we are above all three moving averages, so on the daily chart we are definitely bullish. In fact, we are challenging this resistant level up here I have on the screen at 324.61. I believe the resistant level that we were at prior was 323.20 was what I had on the screen. The reason why I moved it up is because I believe that closer that we get to this price level, the 323.20, the more likely we are to see a higher price, and that's why I have this next resistant level. So as far as, would I be a swing trader at these price levels? Absolutely not. I will not be a swing trader unless price moves sideways for a few days, and depending on price action, I would then consider taking a swing trade. But at this point, what I'm personally waiting for is I'm waiting for either a break of this resistant level. I want to see a break and a back test before continuing higher. The other thing I'm looking for is maybe we will find resistance right here and come back down, and that's why I'm not taking the swing trade right now. So if I go to a intraday chart, I'm going to look at the 4-hour chart. Oops, let me. So on a 4-hour chart, just looking at price action throughout the day. Actually, we could take it back to, I believe it was Friday or Monday. I don't even remember what day this was. Uh, Going into, so this is 7/9, 7/13. Okay, so just looking at this price action, just based on the last couple weeks, you can see the higher highs and higher lows. We did pull back over here, and then we made a lower high right here, and then we just kind of drifted down. Price came back to find this support level, and it's actually a March lows support level, or the end of March support level. It's more of a price channel. So as I can see, we made a move higher and we traded sideways. And I'm not gonna look at what price was really doing in here. All I know, just looking at this picture, is we traded sideways and then we continued higher. And so to me, again, the more we are to trade sideways, the more likely we are to break through resistance. But I don't want to be a trader. I don't want to be stuck in this area just yet. Now, if we traded back and forth for a few more days, I would potentially take a swing trade on one of these higher lows, but that's not what's going on right now. Right now we are at resistance. To talk about that, it is possible to be short against this price level. It's possible to be short against this price level. I don't like that we closed today above yesterday's high. If I was going to be a short, if I was going to trade this short, but just looking at it, to me, again, it's almost unbelievable how high the market is, but the fact is it is up this high. This is where we find ourselves, 321.31. We're pretty high on the chart, but price is the arbiter, and it doesn't matter what I feel or think. It's hard to imagine that we're pretty close to all-time highs. There's a lot going on, that, or a lot that could go on to get price to even come up to this high. And that's pretty far down the road, so I don't want to begin discussing that yet. There is a possibility that we pull back. We could sell off. That's always a possibility, and we do have to look at both sides. And would I be a buyer at this level? I would definitely be a swing trader at this level if we did start selling off here. I do believe this is solid support down here at $312. Now find ourselves below this price channel, or the bottom part of the price channel. If we if we take it out, I would definitely be looking to absolutely short this. I would look for to take out the trend line and then possibly come back and back test. And then once it began making lower lows, if we broke out this, took this out, that's definitely a short trade that would be worth taking. But as of now, we're still in an uptrend. Okay, so now I'm going to look at the ES chart. Futures were down a 0.5% overnight. Quite honestly, even though we're down a 0.5%, it, you know, based on where we just came from, there's nothing wrong with that. This is just consolidation. Even if we came all the way back to the bottom of this, let's just say there's a little channel here. Even if we came back underneath this, took this out, there would still technically speaking be support here. In fact, there could be support up in this area, up in 313 area, or 3,134. Definitely support in this area. We are above all the moving averages. We are in an uptrend. There's nothing wrong with this picture here. I'm gonna go down to a lower time frame. We'll look at the 4 hour first. So this is the story and this is the pattern, and we just really have to just kind of follow it and track it. Right now I'm positioned lightly in a lot of different names, and that could all change depending on what price does. There's nothing wrong with price on the futures chart coming all the way back down here to close this gap that was created last night. There's also nothing wrong with price coming all the way down here, which I don't know what that price level is. Let me see if I can zoom in here. Okay, so that price level is, you see it on my screen here. Okay, so there is support at 31.84. There's also support down here at 31.46. And honestly, there's also support at 31.92. And the same goes for the futures chart. Would I want to be a swing trader long at this point? No, I wouldn't. I would like to see price trade sideways for a little bit before I pull the trigger on that. Unless we get a breakout. If we get a breakout above this resistant level, which comes in at 32.32, around that price. If we get a breakout above that, what I like to see is if this is my resistant level, I like to see a breakout and then a back test. The key is, where are you going to find this back test? Are you going to find it on the 5 minute chart? Or are you going to find it on the hourly or the daily? The daily, it might take you quite a while before you see price come back to this level if we do break out. So for me, I would like to see it at least on the 30-minute chart. I would possibly enter a first swing trade at the low here. I might even enter one. Yeah, I would enter one at the low, on the back test. I would definitely add to my position if we took out that high. If price came up here, pulled back tested, and then broke out again, I would definitely add a lot to that position. I don't like taking breakouts themselves. I wouldn't want to see, if price found its way, working up here and then we broke out, I would not take that breakout, especially depending on what time of day it is, because if it's 5 o'clock in the morning and the New York session hasn't opened yet, market opens here at 6:30, so the New York Open here it's at 6:30. If you're taking a trade at 5:30 in the morning, New York could, price could come through here, and then at 6:30 New York opens, it could just dump it right back down. And if it does dump it right back down, that's definitely bearish. In fact, it's more bearish by breaking out and failing than it would be to just stay underneath it here trading sideways. So that's something to consider. As far as your day trades, all options are acceptable. Just remember on your day trades, even when I'm taking day trades, and this is something for all charts, even when I take day trades, I like to find price. If price is falling, I want to get it at the best price. I want a day trade where I think swing traders would enter the position. It's way better odds of being successful, way better risk to reward. You're more likely to be right, and that's what this is about. It's what am I going to do to set myself up for success? And at what price do I know that I'm wrong if I'm wrong in the trade? If I took this bounce play right here, I know I would be wrong instantly and I would set a stop down here because the next lower price this is probably going to go to is at least down to here, down to 30.60. So that's one way of looking at it. Even when I'm day trading, I like to take day trades at swing trader prices. Other than that, I'm going to sit in cash. You know, if it's not worth it for me to take a trade, I'm not going to. I'm going to sit in cash. There's something I want to show you guys. We took a trade in Apple today, and then we're going to wrap it up. We took a trade in Apple today. Um, Actually, we were long on Apple coming into the morning, and I did a post on this talking about, you know, if we found ourselves at resistance, um, you know, I'm looking for all-time highs again in Apple. We were coming up here pre-market. Market open and it began this chopping back and forth action. I didn't really like it. I did notice there was a possible double top up in this area. And so what I did is I went from a long position and I went into a really light short position trading against the high over here. And so I think my stop loss was at 400 or 401 or 400 or 401. So that's one of the trades we took. I'm swinging it. We'll see what tomorrow is. It's a very light position. The other one thing I want to look at was we took a trade in cat, and then we'll wrap it up after this. I did do a short in cat, and this is why. Actually, I'm going to go to the weekly chart. This is another thing to consider, day traders, is that if you can find a support and resistance level on a weekly chart, you know, if I think this price level 140 is a good support or resistance price level, even as a day trade, that's the best place to take the day trade. So as a swing trader, I did enter short here and I entered it against this high over here. I don't know what the high is to the penny on that candle. It might be pretty close to 140. It says the high is 139.94. I'm gonna call that 400. So if I go back here, that's the weekly chart. Let me go back to the daily so you can see what it did. The reason why I took this trade is that price has already come from all the way down here in a matter of 1, 2, 3, 4 days. We found ourselves at 140. Now there's a very high chance that I'm wrong in this trade, and then tomorrow we'll see price continue up through here. Based on where we took this trade, though, what I was looking at was, I mean, Cat's already run 12.5%, almost 13% in a matter of 4 days. Now it can always continue higher, but I was taking the trade against this high over here, but also on a weekly time frame, that 140 price level is pretty serious resistance. Now, if we trade sideways for a couple days right here, I'm going to exit my short trade. I'm not going to stay in the trade, right? Because to me, that looks like a bull flag. The more we are to trade sideways just underneath price like that, just underneath resistance, I don't like that. That to me looks more bullish than bearish. So there's a lot to, a lot going on with it, but we saw after our session already price did pull through it and then has pulled back. So I don't know if in the morning, I mean, it's possible in the morning that it will continue higher, but it's also possible that we'll continue lower. And so my stop loss is going to stay the same. I never move my stop loss. I don't average down on losing positions. I rarely will average down on losing positions unless I'm accumulating for like a longer term position. Other than that, on a trade like this, a swing trade, I'm just going to exit the trade when I know that I'm wrong. So that wraps it up. I hope that answers the questions on primarily the S&P 500 and the ES futures chart. Have a good night.